Hello everybody, welcome on our first edit on Women's Day for our SILA Engage platform of different talks. Today we have with us Khanna and she's here. I don't think this lady needs a lot of introduction because she's the one connecting most of the Mumbaikars who live here. She's made a platform that today connects over 51,000 members and has an outreach of innumerable organizations, homegrown brands. So Khanna is here with us today for our Women's Day edit because I couldn't think of anybody more appropriate to start this journey with. And thank you so much, Shan, for being here with us. I'm going to let Kaivalya from our team take over and start a conversation about women and how important it is today for us to collaborate, connect, and go beyond the realms of just societal norms. So I'm going to let Kaivalya take over.
Okay, firstly, I'd like to say thank you to Shan again and good morning to everyone out there. We gathered today to celebrate and talk about Women's Day. Goes without saying the importance of women in any country, especially in India, and with the laurels and accolades that women are getting throughout different platforms of business, sport, and other things in general. We'd like to touch upon certain things that professionals, women in particular, can do to help support their peers in the industry, and how things went for Shan as she kind of navigated her way through her journey. So Shan, we just wanted to ask you really, how you came up with the idea of some of the properties that you have, and what your journey has been like and experience has been like this thus far.
Firstly, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to start this journey with you guys because it's something that I truly believe in and feel that this is the need of the hour. So thank you. When I started, I had founded Spicy Sangria, I would say about 11 years ago.
Wow.
But 6 years ago, we started offline events.
Okay.
And about 5 years ago, I decided to start a community which was networking now, which was literally on a whim, because I felt like people would call me constantly being like, where do I get this? How do I get this? Help me with the best deal in this. And my friends basically thought I was just guy. And after a while, I loved it, but it was a bit annoying also because
Sure.
I'm in the middle of work and getting calls, and that's when I decided to start a Facebook group.
Right.
And I just added 10 friends and said add people, and slowly over time I noticed people adding more people, and I realized that this is something that we need. So I would only accept people that are friends, have common friends, or if my friends invited them, or people I knew invited them.
A reference point.
Yeah, basically. And for 5 years, I ran this completely free, and it was just something that I love doing because I feel like the more you connect people, see, someone's business really grows via referral.
Absolutely.
If I tell you use this service and I've used it, my close friend will be like, hey, she suggested it, let's do it.
Yeah.
So I think that was the idea, and I think that networking is always, this is what I feel, networking is always looked at from a very negative point of view.
Right.
Everyone says, oh,
Right.
she's so networked.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
Absolutely.
According to me, that's great. I feel like it's give and take. You're
Sure.
taking, but you're also giving a lot.
Sure.
So I think that's how I started, and today that's how we reach this community.
Great. It's funny that you touched upon the fact that people look at networking and networking events with a bias in their mind and very negative attitude, when all it actually is people connecting each other. And how we really, appreciate your approach at networking. That is something that isn't really done with the motivation of creating an outcome, but just of creating a network of like-minded people. And if there are any synergies there, it could work out on itself organically. Going ahead, what we also wanted to understand is you were one of the first people to harness and understand the potential of social media when it comes to networking.
Yeah.
And you were, you probably arguably one of the first people to kind of, promote your things across the platforms and create a kind of property around your events and your company, through which has become kind of the norm today. So, wanted to understand from you how you were able to, find that gap or understand and create events with the kind of social media presence, maybe on Facebook, LinkedIn, or what have you. What kind of drove you to explore those avenues very early on?
So I think social media, like you said, it's firstly, it's something that everyone should make use of. I say this in a positive way because if you are running a business in today's time and a brand or a product or a company or anything, social media is the way forward. And when I started, I mean, to give you a bit of perspective, when I started with Spicy Sangria, since this is a real conversation,
right,
because there have also been failures.
Right.
When I started with Spicy Sangria, I thought that I could be a blogger.
Right.
And down the line, I realized this is just not for me,
Yeah.
And it was just like, this is me. And I think that's when networking now came in the forefront with social media, because I realized that everyone has to really kind of use social media for what they believe in. So be
Right.
your real self, and that's when you'll grow.
Right.
So when I did Spicy Sangria, it was so hard because I had to get up and put makeup and like go out and like talk about fashion, and that's not me at all. So that's when I realized that why don't I use this for networking?
Right.
And I think that today people really want to just be featured across social media. They want to, on the other end, consumers are looking for what's new on social media.
Sure.
If you're tagging 5 people, people are going to that account.
Absolutely.
So I think that when I started, it was Facebook, and it was just through referral that I added people, and it kind of snowballed, luckily for me, into a larger community.
Yeah.
And over the years, I've met so many new people through the platform. And on Instagram, I think that if you make right use of it, that 15-second video or the 1 minute, that you can put up on your
Can
feed,
really have some
or even today IGTV, it's such a big thing.
Right.
So I think that if social networks are giving us the chance and coming up with things for us to use, I don't see why we're not using it. And also use social media the right way. So when I say that, I mean like even LinkedIn. I see so many articles where people are like, don't say hi, hello to me. Know which platform is used for what.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that today, I had met this blogger recently, and I was chatting with her, and I said, how do you deal with this thing of having interns who can possibly take away your contacts and use it
Sure.
later, or
Sure.
And she was like, that's such a stupid thing to say in today's day and age, because today with social media, you DM someone, you'll get a reply. So what
Absolutely.
contact are you talking
Absolutely.
about? So I think that is something for us to think about, that the world has become so accessible. I think that reaching out to somebody to talk at an event, or reaching out to somebody to just do business with, has become easier.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And today, because we're talking about women, I just want to bring it back to this conversation. Today, how do you feel that women can empower each other through social media? Like you said very rightly, today bloggers, I also feel, are going in a direction where they're giving us, you can't use 100 beauty products and say all beauty products are great. So how do we kind of filter that, and as consumers of content as well, how do we kind of see that, and especially as women, and kind of believe what is right and what is wrong?
So I think, to be fair, I think the bloggers in India are doing a pretty damn good job. And when I say that, I say, yes, I understand that it's a brand kind of advertising with them, and it's 6 different people. But you know how much hope they're giving to college students? Or,
Right.
I mean, today there's a whole, you can make a business out of anything today. I don't think that it's, in those days it was like, what does your dad do? What does your mom do? Chalo, we'll work there for 3 months, then we'll see what we want to do.
Sure.
Today you can be a college student and be working 2 jobs, because you can be a blogger on the side, you can sell your product through social media. There's so many women at my networking events who tell me, my daughter's joined me and she's handling the social. And I think that's great, because they've possibly learnt it at a very early age.
So it's a sense of empowerment. You're empowering people, with who have the skills to kind of come put it to use early.
Yeah.
So that's where, as Nonita rightly pointed out, it's in this way that women can help each other. And creating opportunities sometimes are just the stepping stone people need to, get that confidence to go ahead and take the next steps and, start their entrepreneurial journey, so as to speak.
So I think that there's a two-way thing to it. One, of course, they talk about things that they really love as well.
Yeah.
But brands are also getting a platform. And back in the day, we only had 2 modes of advertising, which was either hoardings or TV ads.
Sure.
And today we have so many other ways.
Yeah.
So I think that it's just growth and positive in that sense.
So, thanks Shan and Nonita, we touched upon really the social media angle and how modern brands and the community are engaging each other and creating a marketplace for products and services alike. Now, what we wanted to really understand is taking into, looking through the lens of the women in India. What we in urban areas, it's really easy, and for the upwardly mobile, people of India, it's quite easy to connect, and they are abreast with all the ways and modes of engaging and creating platforms.
Yeah.
What we would like to we'd like to take this conversation and look at it in a larger spectrum is how today, as per what you would think or what you, Nonita, would think, is how can we empower women across the socio-economic spectrum from different parts of India, whether it be rural India, whether it be people who do not have access to technology, because as you know, there are a large number of women entrepreneurs in different industries across rural India who could actually benefit from the support of social media, from the support of actually being connected to people and create a sustainable kind of economy or marketplace from, as they say, farm to table today, and actually get actually let these women benefit economically in the right way. How could we do this today, taking all these modern tools into account?
Sure. I think one thing is that with the SILA Engage platform, we connect a lot of organizations across the board. We also look at it from a CSR angle, where today we can bring in organizations and actually help them connect with grassroots level projects. So I think that's a great way of bridging that gap.
Right.
And also the other thing is running campaigns around social media where we provide awareness for these grassroots projects that are happening across the country. Today,
Right.
Women have some great products in rural areas that we can highlight and we can bring them up. Also, how do we modernize these products?
Yeah.
So I feel like there are great, remedies. There are great things out there that are used still very, prominently
Sure.
used in the rural communities that we can today bring into the modern world and kind of attach it and pivot it in such a way that actually social media can help us
Absolutely.
elevate.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great way of doing things. What about
Yeah, so I actually, that's the reason I started networking now actually. When I thought of this, I thought of the concept, when I was traveling for Spicy Sangha, that I meet so many people who are from different places who just don't know how to market what they do.
Absolutely.
So not only somebody who doesn't know what social media is,
Right.
but I'm even talking about somebody who's, without sounding this, but somebody who's 65 and has a great business idea,
Absolutely.
but doesn't know how to use a platform.
Right.
So I think that I did this course recently, this Facebook female foundry thing, and I met this girl who connects people who make things in the villages and
Right.
basically modernizes it and sells it, right?
Okay.
And she created a platform.
Oh, wow.
And recently I met somebody else who takes artisans and creates different products and basically gives it for corporate gifts.
Great.
Also another platform where whatever NGOs do, she brings them all together on one platform and gives it to corporates as a gift. So that's your CSR and that's your. So I think that is a huge, they're really bridging a gap, because I think through Instagram, through Facebook, through their website, they're giving people a chance. And of course supporting different communities. But I think that when I had started, and today what I've created, Nonita will know, she's attended some of my events. There are people who are from the age group of 25 to 70.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have no gap in that sense of
Absolutely.
age or any economic thing. Of course, if somebody tells me, Shan, I can't afford to come, but I really need this, by all means come. I'd love because I feel like today somebody who's 25 can really empower somebody who's 65 as well and help them grow.
Sure.
So I think that whatever economic background you are, like to give you an example, I'm sure you must have seen this as well. A lot of people who are older will hire somebody who's 25 to 30
Right.
to do their social media.
Right.
Because they think that's the age
That's
of
the
social media.
that's the
Yeah.
normal idea.
But so I think that's really cool. I
Yeah.
think that's amazing, because you're willing to learn. You'll learn so much from the lady who's 65 as well that we've probably not been taught. in
Vice
school.
versa, absolutely.
Exactly.
So thanks again. You all have touched upon how we can uplift and empower our community, where in the women's perspective throughout the country, and what we can do going into 2020 for the entrepreneurs of today. Now, what we really wanted to discuss is confidence. When it comes to women and in India and across the world, not only here, there's a big, there's big conversations around self-confidence, motivation, having the right mental image about yourself. How do you think this plays into perspective as a business person, and not only as a business person, as a woman in a country like ours, taking into account, the factors and climate of the day today. What can we do as, torchbearers of this community to kind of, help these women and help understand what self-confidence is, how you can look at yourself in a positive light, and how being, positive and confident can actually help you in these trying times.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to
So, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think firstly, confidence is everything. And when I say that, I really believe that if you enter a room confident, you've won half the battle.
Absolutely.
So whether it be with a client or you're getting a new job or you're going through a job interview. And a friend of mine, a very close friend of mine had told me this once because believe it or not, I mean, you're talking about this topic, it's very close to me because I have very low self-confidence.
Okay.
And when somebody looks at me, they say, but how?
You're
because-
very brave to say that
Yeah.
in this kind of forum. I mean, I'd like to commend you on that for sure.
Thank you, but I think it's really important because I have very low self-confidence. So when I go somewhere, I always automatically think, okay, they're better than me. And even somebody who hosts events with 200 people. So imagine I'm going into a room thinking, okay, I don't know. But a friend told me this about 3-4 years ago, which changed my perspective. She said, always enter the room believing that you're the best. You watch how things change. And I know it sounds extremely trivial, but it really works.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that every woman, man, boy, girl should have the confidence to be who you are. Because today we're all unique.
Absolutely.
Today you can do
Right.
something I can't, I can do something you can't. So
Absolutely.
I think that that's half your battle won. And you know what, if you do feel this way, I just feel there should be a lot more women taking this topic up. I feel because a lot of younger girls can learn, like you said, the blogger effect,
Yeah.
also like the influencer effect. So social media should be used in that positive way as well.
Correct.
So if we do talks with people, if you hear half of Oprah Winfrey's talks,
Yeah.
she talks about so many topics like depression and confidence, low self-confidence,
Self-esteem. things of it.
self-esteem,
Yes.
and you can really, whether you're fat, thin, big, small, successful, not yet
Right.
successful, I think that everyone should learn from somewhere else. So I always tell all my members, create a support group. So it doesn't have to only be if you're sad or depressed. Create a support group, find your tribe. So every time you have an issue, write to them, and you watch it come out after 10 minutes feeling great.
Absolutely.
It's your support. It's like your special support.
I couldn't agree with you more. Through the SILA Engage platform, what we have done is, we go into a place, even if we are running a Zumba class, a yoga class, a mental health session for men and women both. Post that session, they come out with a different perspective today. So it's great. Like there are times, I've done this for now 3.5 years, and we've run some Zumba classes for a long time in some corporate spaces. And 3 to 4 months down the line, when I go there just to say hi, hello, meet them, there are people who have come up to me and said that I'm in this organization just for this 1 hour of class in my day, and that is something that feeling nobody can take away from you, because you realize that through the life that we lead, it becomes so difficult, and especially we focus a lot on the mid-management sector as well. Those are the women who today are super women, like they are running their homes, they are running their work, they are the ones who are the most productive, I would feel. And for them, giving that 1 hour of the day to themselves is such an important thing for them. So
people stay in jobs for this kind of stuff. So you can
Absolutely.
imagine, I mean, if your company is looking after you, Helen, like you said, a Zumba class can really give you a happy feeling. So in the beginning of the day or the end of the day, you're giving that woman that confidence that here we're looking after you.
Absolutely. And they shine, at their workplace, there's a huge difference in their body image, all of that, because today I think confidence, like Kevalia was asking, confidence is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
Today, when I started my own journey as an entrepreneur and today working with SILA, I have seen that, there are days when you're really down. And like you said, you have to build your support group. And for me, people who I work with, these women who I interact with on a daily basis are my support group, So I'll call them up and say, look, I'm having a terrible day, or like, how can we do this better? How can I make this better, And they're always there to kind of, and including yourself today. So, coming to you and saying, Shan, this is what I'm looking for, and you'll always be there to kind of support.
But I think that's the base of it. I think that if you don't help, so a lot of people ask me that why do you help others?
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's such a stupid question because if you don't help somebody else, I mean, you never know what somebody is going through, and that
Absolutely.
one contact or that one piece of advice can really pull them up.
Absolutely.
So you definitely have to believe in yourself, but I think that you need to also find your tribe that really believes in you and can really tell you, listen, this is bad, don't do it, or this is amazing, because we doubt ourselves constantly, every day.
So one question that I just had from my end was that what do you think is the most important piece to kind of focus on when you're looking at a collaborative workplace? So that's my...
Okay, so you're talking about in general, just people
collaborating in a workplace. So you do it, outside of work, you get people together and connect. In the workplace, what are the tools that we can use to kind of have people talk? Because I'm sure you have so much...
Like within a company. I think engaging activities is one. When I started out, even with networking now, I started doing a lot of workshops. I started doing a lot of workshops which have you have to pair people up, and then many times I meet a lot of people who tell me, we used to come to your networking events and we were so nervous. We didn't know who to talk to or what to do. It's my first. They always come to me and say, hey Shan, can you help? And I think that's something that helps. Keeping 4 or 5 ambassadors who can really engage with them and connect them. Secondly is get feedback. I always do this. Get feedback as to what stuff they like.
Absolutely.
So do they like to do, some people get really bored in workshops. Some people get really love physical sport activities. That really brings people together. And learning. I think that in every organization there has to be an aspect of learning new things. So skill development. We can't just imagine that they know it. Right? So I think that also brings people together. And the other thing is teamwork. I mean, that's the main thing, putting people on projects. So we did this social media workshop recently with Shebang, and a lot of people didn't know each other.
I actually saw this. I actually saw this on Instagram.
So we had 200 people come for it, and I think many people didn't know each other. So what we did is we made sure that everyone sat separately. Even if you came with a friend, you were not together.
So it promotes communication.
Yeah, and people were there for 1.5 hours after, And I've noticed over time, people who are regulars in my events, now I see them introducing others to others.
Yes, absolutely.
That's when you know the magic is taking place.
I think I have experienced this myself. I came for your event on Friday, and there were people who have been there for so long, and they're like, just come with me and I'll introduce you. It becomes a full community of people just.
And I want it to be like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think if you keep that going and you really see the more you empower one person, that's when they
it's a chain reaction.
It's a chain reaction. So the more you make them feel like you're special here, they'll probably do that with the others.
So on that note, I think you are really special, Shan, for doing something like this, and bringing people together is one of the most difficult tasks in today's day and age, with all of us glued to our phones, to actually bring them physically together. It was such a lovely conversation, and Kevin, anything?
Yeah, so we'd like to thank you again, Shan, for taking out the time on a busy Monday. Thankfully, tomorrow is a holiday, so we all have a bit of bit of a breather. The two key takeaways from the last conversation that we had were that it's very important for women to keep the channels of communication open between each other, and to not hold any information which hurts them or causes anxiety, self-hate, or any of those negative emotions, but to actually use their friends or their support system as a medium to alleviate their stress. We'd like to really stress upon that anyone having problems in today's day and age, help is just a phone call away. And seeking professional help is never something that you should look at in a negative light. Another thing we'd also like to touch upon, as Shan had reiterated, that the importance of events. So our whole idea with SILA Engage and with getting collaborating with people like Shan is the importance of how getting out of the corporate atmosphere and engaging your workforce, maybe internally, externally, via networking events with other people, is extremely important, not only for job satisfaction, but for people to understand their place and fuel their desire and dreams in their entrepreneurial journeys going ahead. We'd like to thank you, Shan, again, and Nonita. This has been a great conversation, and we'll be looking forward to doing some more like this in the future.
Thank you.
Yes,
thank you
so much. This is just the beginning of many more, and we hope to have you on more forums and platforms and talking to us about everything that is important to us as women, men, and everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
guys.
Thank you.